we are back with another recipe video. If you don't know me, I'm Lindsay, and here at The Plant Plan, we focus on eating well for health, longevity, muscle gain, and fat loss. And today we are making chia overnight chia seed pudding. I say overnight because normally for breakfast, I love making overnight oats. That's just been a long time habit of mine. It's either that or like a tofu scramble situation. I'll jazz both of those up in many different ways. In fact, if you stay towards the end of this video, I'll probably put a card or something up there to show you all the different recipes that I have made for breakfast. But today we're doing something quite different for this channel. We're using chia as the main bulk of the meal. So hopefully you'll enjoy that. In fact, I'm making this because one of you suggested it. If you have any suggestions for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, any type of meal that you want to see me make, transform, give you maybe some different ideas of how to incorporate that in your diet in a healthy, plant-based way, just let me know. Drop that down in the comments. Boop, boop. Okay, let's get started. So first I'm going to tell you all the ingredients and items that we're going to use, and then I'll go into showing you physically how I'm making it. The first thing I want to say is that chia seeds are a great source of omega-3s. One of the things we want to be mindful of is getting enough good, healthy fats. It's usually not a problem if you're eating a wide variety of foods and being mindful of the fact that, okay, let me find a way to include some of these foods with higher omegas. However, I will advocate getting something like this or whatever brand you have that gives you a good balance of omega-3s, both DHA and EPA. Okay, there are many sources out there that will give you a breakdown of that if you want to get like really nerdy and scientific with it, but just look at the label and make sure that it contains DHA and EPA. And that's it. I actually take a multivitamin, and I've made sure that it has it in there. But this is what I was using beforehand when I was, taking a separate D vitamin, a separate omega-3, and a separate B12. There are some days just to kind of make sure that I'm using this up because it does expire. I will take an extra along with my multivitamin, and then include foods in my diet that have that, and you're covered. You're more than covered. But again, it's something that I want people to be mindful of. I think there's a lot of people who are like, oh, just sprinkle some walnuts and some chia and flax and you'll be fine. I don't want to wait and find out if that's fine or not. Like I don't want to wait and get a problem later. So it's very simple. It's very inexpensive to just make sure that you have a good multivitamin. The one thing I will say about multivitamins is that a lot of the ones on the market are geared towards omnivores, and those may be focused on deficiencies that they may have. If you are eating primarily plant-based, then you want to consider things that you might be lacking and not just get like a multivitamin with, 1,000,000 milligrams of vitamin A. Like, I think you're pretty much covered on something like that, right? Or like, what have you. Anyway, this is way longer of a spiel. I want to get into the recipe, so I'll stop right there. Just make sure that as a plant-based eater, you're getting omega-3s and incorporating things like this. Okay, so we're starting off with chia. This is my huge jar of chia. It's actually a repurposed jar, but I hate going in and out of bags for things, so I just kind of decanted it into this, and this is what we're using. I should say that we have two different recipes, which you would have seen in the thumbnail and probably in the title. One of them is a golden chia pudding, and another one is a matcha pudding. Let's start the golden one first. What's making a golden? Turmeric. This is a great anti-inflammatory, especially if you pair that with some black pepper, and that's what we're gonna do. You don't need a lot. I know it's a little weird to have black pepper in a sweet thing, but just 1 or 2 cracks will do. That'll help you absorb some of the benefits of having turmeric, right? So we're gonna have that. Typically for something like this, any kind of like, turmeric latte or whatever, what I will pair that with is cinnamon and ginger, right? those are the perfect flavors to have with turmeric. When you have turmeric, you have those things, savory or sweet. Honestly, it's gonna make it better. But I have some, you could probably see it back there. That right there is a huge thing of cinnamon, but I'm out of ginger, sadly. So what I'm gonna do is, and this is a great hack, I'm going to use this pumpkin pie spice. This has ginger, turmeric. I think it also has, well, I can just read it. It has nutmeg, allspice, and clove. So we're gonna get a little bit more flavor going on here. If you have something like this, use this. If not, you could always have some cinnamon and some ginger, and you'll be all set. Okay, and then to sweeten it, you can use any sweetener of your choice or none at all, depends on what you like. For our purposes today, I'm going to leave it unsweetened, and then as I'm serving it, then I'll have I'll probably put some stevia. I have some Truvia, I think it's called, something like that. So I'll put like one little packet in there and call it a day, because it doesn't need to be super sweet for me. Also, we're going to use some vanilla extract. This is the organic alcohol-free pure vanilla flavor from Trader Joe's. I think this is a really good bang for your buck, but if you want something like really like good vanilla, find that, or use whatever you have in your pantry. In fact, I prefer you do that. Don't go chasing items for a little recipe like this. Please don't. So this will be a good flavor booster for both of these recipes. So just a splash will do. And then I'm going to use this unsweetened, unflavored almond milk. Any recipe where you need milk, this is going to be helpful to you. Soy milk will also be really great and give you additional protein. Now, for my protein girlies out there, what I would do with something like this is either use a vanilla protein powder, and then kind of play around with how much chia you're using, or just have a protein shake on the side and then have this as your the bulk of your meal for that meal. Yeah. And then for the matcha one, so the matcha one is even more simple. You're just going to have a little bit of matcha in there and your sweetener and some vanilla as an optional additional flavor. For me, I had this in the back of my fridge. This is a sweetened matcha powder. I got this at Marshall's, honestly, like months and months ago. It doesn't end up being as green as this photo, so I haven't really used it as much. I know that's kind of silly to be like, it's not green enough, but also it's really sweet, and because I think they use actual sugar in this, and it's also not very matcha-y. For me, I don't mind bitter flavors, actually. Now that I'm mentioning that, let me just... caffeine break. Actually, this is decaf. This is how much I love bitter-ish flavors, right? So I'm having my second cup of coffee decaf just because I like that flavor. So to have a sweetened matcha, I'm kind of like, oh, you're taking some of the fun out of it. But if you like really sweet matcha, this might be the brand for you. Alternatively, what I would say, if you want to play around with how sweet you want it, just use your regular matcha powder. Trader Joe's has really great matcha powder packs, like single serve type packs. Those are unsweetened, so you can add or not however much you want, and you can use probably a half a packet would be just fine for this recipe. In any case, this is what I'm using. It already comes pre-sweetened, so I'm just dumping this into my chia pudding and calling it a day, right? But it might not be something that you would have thought to use with chia pudding. It'll be really good. Yours will probably come out with a much better color than mine, but it is what it is. Now that we're here, I honestly don't really want to change my camera angle too much. So we'll see how we figure the rest of this video out. I'm going to show you the recipe right now. Okay, so we are down here for the rest of the video because I'm too lazy to set up my overhead camera setup. So You're fine. You'll be fine. All right. So I will get up in a moment because I'm having a back issue and this was really ignorant of me to do it like this. But I already have my 2 half cups of almond milk in both jars. So I'm going to get up and then I'll just kind of explain everything else that I'm doing because, oh, ow, ow. So for the golden milk one, we already have a half cup of almond milk, and I'm gonna put, for this, I normally don't measure things like this, but you know, because this has like no calories anyway, so it's not something that, oh, see, and this is exactly freaking why. Oh my goodness. And in case you want about a 1/4 teaspoon, it's gonna be real golden. Okay, so about a 1/4 teaspoon that we're putting in there. I'm gonna close this back up gently because this is that organic stuff. I don't want to be wasting this. No. Okay. Oh goodness, that was a whole lot. Honestly, that table is clean. Like, it's fine. In addition to the turmeric, we're going to have some of this pumpkin spice. So for this one, you know what? I'm not gonna go through the trouble of opening it. So you just want to have about another 1/4 teaspoon. Okay, and we're gonna put a splash of vanilla. Oh, don't go crazy. Okay, that's about enough. A splash will do. And then I'm going to use some crushed peppercorns. I put the setting. If you have pepper that you're just sprinkling in there that's already pre-ground, go ahead. I would recommend, if you're cracking your own pepper or have like a pepper grinder like this, just make sure that the setting is really fine, because you don't want to have, you know, like big chunks of peppercorn in there for obvious reasons. So we just need enough for it to do fun sciencey things to make this turmeric worth it, as far as the health properties that it has for us, right? So it's not really a flavor thing or a spice thing. We're just cracking a little bit in there. And that's it as far as the other ingredients. And then for the chia, we're going to be using 2 tablespoons of chia. So that's about 15 grams if you're measuring by grams. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. That was kind of a wimpy tablespoon, so I'll put a little bit extra, just a touch here. Okay, so that's about 2 tablespoons of chia. And then we're going to close the jar, and this is why I love jars, folks. You don't have to spend a whole bunch of time. Oh, well, you do have to close it. Oh gosh, goodness. Okay. All right, and that's pretty much it. Now it looks really loose now, but of course the chia will soak up a lot of the moisture and it'll become a pudding texture. You can play around with the texture, but I like to, I'm gonna have to wipe my hands in a bit. I didn't close it properly the first time. I like to use about a 1/4 cup of chia to 1 cup of almond milk. I have this recipe just because I didn't want too much. I'm gonna use this as a snack actually. So I have a half serving. So that means a 1/2 cup of almond milk and then an 1/8 cup of chia seed, which is, you know, about, like I said, the 15 grams or 2 tablespoons. All right. So that's the ratio that I prefer. You can figure out what your preferred ratio is. All the spills today. It's only when I'm filming. Like, what is that about? I don't know. We are back for the matcha. So it's simply going to be some vanilla and some of that matcha powder that I showed you previously. And honestly, with the color of this one, it's truly just gonna look the same, but it's all good. Okay. So for this one, I'm going to use, or I would recommend using 2 teaspoons of matcha, around 10 grams. And that's about how much I'm going to use of this. Actually, this is probably already 2 teaspoons. Yeah, so I won't use a whole one there. Okay. Okay, and remember mine already has some sweetener in it, so you can go ahead and sweeten it or not sweeten it, however much you like. And then we're gonna go in again with 2 decent tablespoons of chia. Okay. I think the way I'm grabbing it, it's like not making a full tablespoon, so. Oh, goodness. That's why I hate using bags. Like, look at my entire hand is full of the matcha. And we're going to close it properly this time. And then we're going to give it a shake. Okay. And that's pretty much it. So what we're going to do, what we're going to do now is let them both chill in the refrigerator. You need at least a couple hours if you want to eat it for a snack later on the same day, or you can just put it in the fridge and have it overnight as an overnight situation. You'll see that the chia seeds soak up a lot of the moisture. Well, many of you have had chia pudding already before, so you kind of know the deal. But for those of you who don't, you might want to go do some other task and then come back, and while you still can, shake it up a little bit more just to make sure that everything is nice and mixed properly for a good texture and consistency. And of course, when you're serving it, you're going to be spooning it around a little bit just to make sure you have all the flavor in all the bites. Okay, we're back at a reasonable height. So if you like what you've seen here, if you like having new ideas for different breakfast recipes or any kind of healthy recipes that are going to help you on your fat loss or health journey, then stick around and definitely make sure to subscribe. Leave me a comment. What kind of toppings would you have? For chia seed pudding, for me, I like to just have it as is, unless if I have some yogurt on hand or some, with the golden one, with the turmeric one, it may be really good to have some like coconut flakes on it. Actually, that'd be really good. If you have some like slightly sweetened coconut flakes and leave the rest of it unsweetened, just sprinkle that on top when you're serving it. Oh, that sounds like perfection, and I might go ahead and do that. In any case, if you like having new ideas for different healthy plant-based meals that you can incorporate in your diet, whether you're on a fat loss journey, a muscle gain journey, or both, right? If you're trying to do a little recomp, come on over, stick around, watch those videos, and make sure to drop a like and a comment. All right, see you soon. Bye.